Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to your August 2025 Leo season reading. I'm Susan, your intuitive, who will be reading your cards today. Cards that are flying out of the deck to talk to you. Alright, so first card was left on the table. Seven of Swords, Page of Pentacles, King of Wands to start. So there has been possible betrayal in your life. For others of you, this is really moving on from that betrayal. That through some sort of creative expression, through learning to be with that creative expression, and even if this person was a positive or negative experience, the positive part of your possible connection with a person who has been indirectly guiding you in your life. And for some of you, this could be a belief system that has been coming through your subconscious, but for others of you, there may be someone in your life where you don't realize that you've been listening to, and now it's more intent. For some of you, this is the manifestation of a mentor, or looking, if that's what you're looking for, coming into one. This is also could be that recognition of, which is what we were just talking about. And the connection and communication with this person is very strong. The words can come off like you've been perhaps, ooh, what was that? Uranus? The words that could be said or mentioned can come off like someone you've known, someone that's easy breezy to talk to, yet there's such power there. For some of you, this is also about the recognition of that power through another and the power of influence. If you've specifically felt betrayed by this person, by a person who was and felt all of these positive things that we had just talked about, it's important to know that there is abundance on the other side. It will take vulnerability, courage, and going out on a limb for some of you. It also can take a lot of, this is internal risk, which can also, for others, equate to external risk. This abundant energy that you may be experiencing at this time, especially from Uranus, and then for Gemini risings, Jupiter is in your second house. Here you are. This is your ruling planet, Mercury, but also just clarifying the second house. Your talents, your skills, your ability to create abundance, literally create abundance through connection and communication. And it's, so Gemini to be experiencing such a clear opposition right now, because the Magician and the Lovers can also be a sign of deception. So ride with me here, because what is coming up is that you are experiencing such love and abundance and care from someone that, and it's taken a moment and a layer of this type of betrayal and deception, because it's very clever, especially the way it's been playing with your kind and the way that you think, Gemini, the sides of you. You may have been fighting with the wrong person. There's something in you that perhaps the wrong person. If you notice that you're fighting with someone who is consistently forgiving you and like really trying to work it through with you, it's possible that they're the person that needs your love and attention the most. And then through that alchemization, that Magician energy of actually utilizing those skills and letting it be messy in that direction will bring a lot of love and vulnerability and allow you to see that through this growth of abundance and luck and fortune in this way, because it's, in a way it is, if you look at it, it's fortunate to be able to see this, even if it's mind altering. There's this part of you that can see the devastation and feel it. And then there's that other side of you that knows how much this is going to simplify your direction and your decisions right now. This is a very powerful reading, especially for your ability to communicate and innovate for the next few years. And learn that through this, through the plan, I'm going to go back to that other thing and then we'll get to the plan next. But I do want to mention it briefly here, is that you have to allow yourself these moments, these pockets, these timelines, and there may be more at first, just to regulate and continuously regulate your nervous system and get to know that feeling vulnerable in this way is a sense of safety. Because it could be that a separation is bringing you more safety, and it could be with a partner, romantic partner, but also could be with a business partner. It could be with somewhere you've worked a long time. This has longevity. This has a history here, and it doesn't just go from this person, and this. Not to boil them down to a situation or a dynamic, because it's not only that, but just to look in that perspective. They're a representation of perhaps a part of you that has been acting this out. And they're like this physical manifestation. Could be a Sagittarius, could also be a Gemini. And with this abundance comes the negative. The ability to allow yourself to be there while also experiencing the reality of this deception. This could have come from a third-party person. This could be in your relationship and something had happened, or whatever that is. We'll definitely get more into that intimate part in the second part, which will be in the first link below, but wait for the end for all those directions. So what you're being shown in one-on-one relationships, business partnerships, romantic relationships, if you work with people one-on-one, if you are in a lot of relationships, as you could be, Gemini, and you recognize that what's being shown to you is, and using deception as an example, a source of abandonment. And through this acknowledgement, and it may come with a lot of releasing and a lot of tears, but what that will open up in your mind is so important. It's so important that this notion that is still out there in the ether, that it's weak or bad to cry as a sense of release, or be angry as a sense of release. Now be careful now where you direct that, of course. And yes, internally that may still be a work in progress, but still allowing yourself to go through that process and feel more regulated is so a part of what you are moving through at this time, because you're excited to move through, but it's so important to have patience, which means you may, again, going back to the very mercurial dynamic with Uranus right now, the higher octave of Mercury, you may come to master the nervous system in some way, shape, or form in the next 8 years. That may be a part of the skill that you're focusing on. You may not realize that that's such a big part of it. You might get a lot of insights during the time of receiving. So maybe you allow yourself each retrograde this mini vacation, that you perhaps look at your life as, now this is a mindset, and maybe you do something consecutively within the weeks of each Mercury retrograde, depending on where they're at in your house. Now this is the coach and me just making up some shit for you. But if you came here, you asked, right? So giving the arms, Gemini, we'll get more into the metaphysics as well. So you may take every retrograde, take a look at your chart, where each retrograde is in your chart right now. It's in Leo. Gemini risings, that will be your third house of communication. Writing. So this is also about writing. If you've had a project on your mind, if you want to go back to something, change it, reiterate, now is the time to explore. Maybe you take those 2 weeks to explore whatever it is that you're diving into, or if you have the means or find a way to make it affordable or whatever it is, to then maybe even try new things just as your intuition wants. Like, give yourself the openness during the retrogrades. Take a look at where it's in your chart, do it intuitively, right? And maybe do a healing modality, something that you've been called to over time. And maybe there's many things. Write a freaking list, and then just look at it for sometimes inspiration. You don't even have to do it all, right? That's not the mentality we want here. This is about healing. This is about balance. This is going to enhance your skills and your innovation. And here's the biggest skill. It's learning to move on. It's being adaptable to yourself and your process and what that looks like in terms of love. But not just romantic love, but the way you view and feel into relationships, and especially the one with yourself. And also, it could be that you're grieving this betrayal. And during the retrograde, you find yourself being called to different healings or doing things that help you here. That's very Gemini, to be inactive as you heal. But it's like really being present, right? That's why it doesn't matter who's around you, because you're really able, if you can, be that present with yourself and tending to this. Even if you feel good, lean into that, right? Because it's also that you could have put a lot of faith and trust in this person or the situation that you really just maybe didn't want to fucking see. You didn't want to see it. And, at some point, of course, that you're going to see it. Especially if you're on your soul's journey and now you're able to, and here's the good news, you're safe enough to. That's good news. And how much creation comes from that, even though it's a heartbreak, we'll get more into that into the second part. This is just a very clear view of where you're going and what it's costing you. Because Uranus means innovation, and especially technology and communication, but it's not what we think it's going to be. Uranus is revolution, and that revolution depends on the frequency and so much more that we'll continuously get into. I'm going to eventually do a video on that as well. But essentially, it's really important that you, if anything, just focus on the nervous system regulation, month to month, day to day if you need to, and at time, moment to moment, because whatever it is that's causing this abundance and this vulnerability is taking you in a different direction that you're in now, and you may be holding on to it so dearly. But there's something new that wants to come through, and whatever you were in was preparation for it. It's not wasted. You know that. I'm just reminding you. All right, I'm excited to get into the next part, to continue to flow with you, Gemini. All information to do that is below. Patreon, one-on-one link, Venetian Wave, everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and we'll see you there.